Hey guys, this is going to be a video all about my top hero bans for 7.31D. Now this is something that I've wanted to start doing every patch, and I talked a bit about it in my Dota diary, but the importance of having this ban section on my hero grid. If you guys want to know how you do this, you just go to your hero tab, and you type edit, and you can add different sections, all that kind of stuff. So my top tier bans generally come down to having a few required criteria.
Banana slam jam.
1. How often am I losing to the hero? 2. How often am I seeing the hero? And 3. How much does this hero affect my enjoyment of the game? And then 4th, what is the variance of impact of this hero in the game? Now that may seem like a weird criteria, but long story short is that cheese heroes generally are going to have really high impact if they're cheesed last pick, or really low impact if they're picked early by people who don't know how to play them. And I've started to ban at least 1 or 2 cheese heroes a patch, because I either get stomped by them, or it feels like my teammate is really useless on them. And I have to factor in heroes that I don't want to play with, not just ones that I want to not play against, excuse me. So we're just going to go over my bans for the patch. On my ban list here, and exactly why they're on my ban list. So first and foremost, Chen. Oddly enough, in the EU region at the highest level, Chen is picked a lot. He also has the highest win rate in the Divine Immortal bracket. It just feels like a relatively low skill hero when it comes to how they win. Really good Chen players absolutely dominate, and it feels like mediocre Chen players, their lineup just buys a Wraith Pact, and they have some high tempo carry like Bristleback or Alchemist, and they walk down lanes and we lose the game. And for me, it's a combination of unenjoyable gameplay, and I don't really want to play, and I don't really see my teammates picking it very often, and if they do, we do win usually, and it's kind of boring as well. So I'd say Chen's more about the boringness than anything else. Batrider. He falls into the cheesy hero section. Batrider is the most feast or famine hero in Dota. It feels like across the last 5 patches. Basically, Sticky Napalm plus Firefly is insane damage, and you can either remove it or you can't. And Batrider has immense amount of mobility. You either have catch or you don't. So in games where Batrider is 10th picked, and we have no way to remove Sticky and no way to catch him while he's flying over cliffs, the hero just wreaks absolute havoc. I also feel like there's just certain heroes, such as Monkey King, Necrophos, Bristleback, Sniper, that are just really hard to pick into the game when the opponent could potentially 10th pick Batrider. So Batrider is a cheese pick that I absolutely love to remove, especially if I want to pick a hero that's not very good against it. Tiny. Oddly enough, Tiny last patch was played as carry, but this patch he's a lot played as 4 and 2, and I personally just don't enjoy it in the game. I'm a 1500 HP carry mid-game, and I just get blinked on and die. Nearly full to 0. If he has any other hero with him, I just die. It's just something where I've actually learned to play against it better. Basically, you have to play really scared until you get 1 or 2 items on carry. But it just warps the game in a way that I don't enjoy. And quite frankly, Topson went on a 15 win streak with it, did the whole Echo Saber build into Blink Ags, and he basically introduced a new way to play mid-tiny, which turns him into more of a carry. So it feels like not only are you getting bursted early, but you're also getting wrecked when he has Ags Daedalus from super far range. So Tiny just feels like probably the second best mid hero in the patch right now, and really annoying to play against as carry. Now, Pudge. Before you guys think BSJ just bans Pudge because he doesn't want his team to pick Pudge, let's be clear, Pudge has about a 50% win rate in every bracket. It is above 50% in every bracket that is not mine, and it is actually barely below 50% in my bracket. I personally think Pudge core is incredibly strong, while Pudge support is relatively lackluster. So I think the fact that a lot of AFK support players pick Pudge and ruin the game, that probably artificially lowers his win rate, and also artificially lowers your and I's enjoyment of the game. But secondly, Pudge, if he's against no real single target damage like Ursa, Monkey King, Slardar, Razor, that Flesh Heap passive is absolutely insane. He is basically a cheese hero, because if the opponent has damage over time as their reliance to kill you, Pudge just doesn't die. That's like, I don't know if you guys have experienced core Pudge with like Ags plus 2 other items. It's incredibly unenjoyable to play against. He's basically a hero where you have the answers or you don't. In which case, I feel like the hero either feeds or he becomes unkillable. And I don't like that for the game. I'd prefer that to be out. Next up is Monkey King. Out of all the carries right now, it just seems like the worst one to lane against as an offlaner. Like, a lot of offlaners you can't really pick because Monkey King's in the pool. I feel like I'm pretty much glued to picking ranged offlaners before Monkey King is revealed or before their carry is revealed, because of Monkey King. Like, if I want to play like Axe or really any melee offlaner, I just can't if Monkey King's in the pool, because good carry players will just pick Monkey King and my lane freaking sucks. So if I'm playing offlane, I'll generally ban Monkey King to open up my hero pool a little bit. Marcy, I don't ban her nearly as often. Oddly enough about this ban list, one thing I want to kind of note to you guys is that I like having this list not only because I can only ban one hero a game, is to know that these heroes are in the game, because they drastically change the way I play. I was talking about, like, I'm not going to pick certain offlaners if Monkey King's in. I'm not going to pick certain heroes if Bat Rider's in. You know, if Chen's available, I need to think about, is the opponent trying to all-in push us with their first 2 picks? This kind of thing. Marcy's more about, like, is she in the game? And if the answer is yes, you know, my carry needs to be willing to get tossed into the offlaner. And if I have her on my team, she drastically changes the heroes I pick because of the built-in lifesteal, as well as the insanely strong laning phase that Marcy has. So she's more of a hero that's like really strong right now in the right hands and super obnoxious to play against. And I don't really ban her very often. I just want to know if she's banned or not. I would like to give a special shout out on that note for Dawnbreaker, because you would think Dawnbreaker would be in my ban list, but I haven't nominated her a single time, and she's banned like 90% of my games. So I just don't really worry about heroes that get banned every game. This ban list is specifically tailored to heroes I feel like sometimes squeak through, and I want to make sure they don't. And even though Dawnbreaker, Zeus, for instance, are really strong heroes, I don't think they particularly require massive counters. Like, they're just overall strong picks. So if they're picked, they're picked. But I don't feel like I'm getting cheesed by these heroes. They're just strong. Okay, so Puck is my next one. Yeah, Puck is basically the best mid hero in my opinion this patch, and she also is somewhat of a cheese hero. You either have stuns to kill the Puck, or you don't. I've lost a lot of games because a lot of the popular offlaners right now are ranged heroes without stuns, like Viper. And so if your mid picks no stun and your offlane picks no stun and the opponent 10th picks Puck, I kind of just lose. So if I'm stuck last picking and I know Puck's in the pool, that's really important to me, because if I'm carry, I'll pick like Faceless Void, basically. Something to stun the Puck. Really important hero to note to be in the game. So I do have Zeus in my ban list, but it's mainly just to see if he's in, because I don't actually ever nominate him. He's just really strong. Now, the last two fit the same description for why they're there. Viper and Timbersaw. If you guys are carry players and you play against good offlane players, depending on what bracket you're at, if you've played against good ones that play these heroes, Viper feels pretty unlaneable if he's got a melee 4, especially like Viper Marcy, probably the worst nightmarish lane you could possibly imagine as a carry player. Viper's just really strong in the offlane. I don't think the hero's really that great. I think like overall he's a win lane lose game kind of hero. But man, it is not fun to lane against a Viper, and it doesn't really feel like there's much I can do as a carry. There's very few heroes that even survive the lane, such as Weaver, Jug. So he like pigeonholes what heroes I can even pick. A lot of times I'll see Viper plus melee 4, like Tusk and Marcy, and even if I have 10th pick, I can't win the lane. So that's like really toxic. So I ban him. I like to ban him if I lose to him like twice in a day, or have to lane against it more than once a day. And then my last hero, Timbersaw, same idea, but instead of it being these like annoying lanes, the thing about Timbersaw is he just counters strength carries. And if you see my carries, which you don't, Bristleback and Alk are my number 1 and 2 carries for the batch. So similar to Bat Rider having like heroes he's just really bad against or really good against. I like to have Timbersaw. I like to note whether or not Timbersaw is in the game, and if I plan to just play Bristleback or Alk, especially, I will ban Timbersaw. Timbersaw is just super cheesy to strength heroes because of the attribute reduction in his Whirling Death, which effectively does like an extra 200 to 300 pure damage to strength heroes. And also, he just naturally boots you out of lane. The biggest thing about Timbersaw is I pretty much have to pick Monkey King Bloodseeker, or like Razor in order to deal with him. So if he's in the game, I just don't enjoy it because there's a lot of heroes I can't pick, especially if I'm blind picking 3rd, 4th. Because if I do blind pick 3rd, 4th, and they pick Timbersaw, and I happen to pick Alk, I'm just really sad, you know? So I hope you guys understand what I was going for with this video about bans. I think the biggest overarching message for you guys is understanding why I ban these heroes. And I think it's really good to note that it's kind of personal. Like, I don't think my ban list is objectively the best ban list in the game. It's, I think, a really important thing that I've started doing that you guys can also do in order to be more self-aware of what's happening in your games rather than just like, oh, I forgot there's a Timbersaw again. You know, for me, I feel like because of the ban list, because I'm consciously thinking about what heroes I really don't enjoy playing against, the heroes that have made my games lopsided, I just enjoy Dota more because I don't just randomly get cheesed by a Timbersaw. I feel like I'm also more in touch with like counters and what's happening in the game that I'm losing to, because if I think like, yeah, that hero's happened like 3 times now, I just add them to the list. And now I'm much more aware. I'm keeping an eye out for whether or not that hero's in the game, and I try to reflect on like how that hero ruined my game in the past. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. That's my top tier bans for 7.31D. I'll probably be doing something like this every patch if you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, donate, give me a car, whatever. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.